Karin Strand.
And I'm Tuna Morgan. We're expedition leaders for Hurtigruten.
Today we're going to tell you a bit about the most amazing destination, Antarctica. First of all, I can tell you that going to Antarctica is unlike anything you have ever experienced. This seventh continent is the most remote place on Earth and where nature is in command.
That's right, Antarctica is also the coldest, highest and driest continent on the planet. So, what is so fascinating about visiting a place covered with 14 billion square kilometres of ice that is on average 2 kilometres thick? The biggest wow factor for me is experiencing the frozen landscape that is completely isolated. The scenery is totally untouched, so there is an overwhelming presence of endlessness and ice. It's basically a world of ice, icebergs and glaciers.
As a contrast to all this ice, you will experience abundant wildlife. Antarctica is the only continent with no significant plant life and no native land mammals, reptiles or amphibians. However, the shoreline serves as nesting ground for countless species of migratory birds, including penguins. So the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica is home to also many fish and marine mammals, ranging from microscopic plankton to the biggest animal on Earth, the blue whale. It is feeding ground for several other whale species as well: fin whales, humpback whales, minke whales and orcas. These are magnificent giants that you may be able to see while on board the ship, or when we go kayaking or cruising with the expedition boats.
But the continent's signature species is the penguin. The most common species are Adelie, chinstrap and gentoo penguins. On ice floes and in the water, you will see several seal species of the Southern Ocean at the appropriate time of season, like crab-eater, fur, leopard, elephant and Weddell seals. As Karen mentions, there are millions of seabirds breeding along the coast and offshore islands of Antarctica. And from the deck, the chances are good that you will spot albatrosses, snow petrels, cormorants, fulmars, gulls and skuas, amongst many others.
Most importantly, you will see some of the wildlife up close. The penguins in Antarctica is unafraid of human beings because they have very few enemies on land. So it's imperative that guidelines and rules are followed when we go ashore. Tudor and I and the expedition staff will spread out, and we will assess the landing site for vulnerability, and then we will position ourselves where it is needed to be ready to inform and educate and guide you in wildlife watching without disturbance. We'll also interpret what you see and make sure that you'll have the best possible experience.
I can tell you one thing for sure. Going with us to Antarctica is more than just cruising through splendid scenery. We have a genuine focus on sustainability. With our ban on single-use plastic, and with our new hybrid ships, we have a low carbon dioxide footprint.
That's right, our hybrid powered ships, and as a responsible operator. We have been part of creating the guidelines and we take great pride in following them. The main factor is to make sure we leave nothing behind in this pristine and unique area.
But Karen, we also increase people's knowledge and make them ambassadors by showing them how fragile these ecosystems are. You see, before we reach Antarctica, and while we are there, we endeavour to prepare you with insight to what you see. We have daily lectures with experts in the fields of environmental science, biology, geography, history and oceanography. We have science centres on board with practical educational activities and get everybody involved in science projects. So not only will you gain a deeper understanding of what you're about to experience while visiting, you'll also have a much more context of Antarctica and everywhere we sail. That is what makes every expedition with Hurtigruten truly unique.
Well, yes, but we are talking about Antarctica here, the biggest bucket list destination, and for a good reason. You will be stepping into a world without any human-made infrastructure that we normally surround ourselves with. You suddenly find yourself in a place where nature and wildlife in its natural habitat take over all the senses. My first time down there, I felt totally small in the mighty and icy world, and I still do. One thing I can promise you is that you'll be totally fascinated and have shivers down your spine as we silently glide by an ice landscape, which is also so amazing that I will never find words to do it justice. You just have to be there.
I agree. in an adventure like no other. Seeing is believing.